Hello composers, Mike here. In this video I'm going to share some tips with you on what I call the mighty option key. Why? Well, because I use it in so many ways and so incredibly many times in the composing and production process. So let's speed up your Logic workflow right now. I will also give you a bonus tip in the end of this video. Tip 1. Use the mighty option key to duplicate regions in your project. Let's say this one. Hold down the option key or alt key while you left click and drag with your mouse to another track. And now you get a duplicate of this part. Tip 2. Duplicate notes. The same way as regions in the sequencer, hover your mouse above a note, press the option key, left click with your mouse, you see the plus sign, and drag it out like this. It will get the same note length and the velocity, but you can of course place it in timing differently from the first note. Tip 3. Select and duplicate automation points. So let's click on A to bring up the automation lane for this section. I have already recorded some automation here. Now let's zoom in a bit here so we can see the automation points more clearly. Now you can of course select each note individually by just clicking on them like so, but you can also hold down the option key to get this selection here. Now I get those. So let's say we bring this node up here. Now if you want to duplicate that, press it with the left mouse button, but before you move it, hold down the option key on your keyboard and then drag it out like this, and you get a duplicate of that node. And this also works on track automation. If you select this clip, press A to bring up the automation. Let's click Z to zoom in so we can see the automation nodes. And here you can first use Option or Alt key to select a couple of automation nodes like so, because if you don't, you get it like so, all here. If you only want to select the top ones, you really need to hold down the Option key. Then you can increase, decrease them, or hold down the Option key and drag them out to create new ones. Tip 4. Move notes up and down. So let's go into one of these MIDI parts here. And here you can see all the MIDI notes. If you simply select one, then you can hold down the option key on your keyboard and then press either the arrow up to move it up a seminote or the arrow down to move it up. So you can do it like this. Tip 5. Nudge notes. So sometimes if we zoom in here, you want to nudge notes slightly to the right or to the left. Well, if you simply select a note, then use the option key again and press the left or right arrow key. Look what happens. To the left, it moves it slightly to the left, and to the right, it moves it slightly to the right. And the default setting is 10 ticks, which is a very tiny value. Tip 6. Time stretching, which works both for audio and MIDI parts. So let's say you have a chord here that is 1 bar in length, and that you want to either extend it to 2 bars or perhaps make it half a bar. Simply press your option key and then hover your mouse here in the right bottom corner so you can see this icon. Then left click and drag to the right to time stretch this to 2 bars or time stretch it back to, for example, half a bar like so. Tip 7. Zooming. So zooming quickly in and out from regions or selections is one of the aspects you should really master to improve your workflow in Logic Pro X. And I love using the option key for this. If you hold down your option key while you have your mouse cursor in an empty area in your sequencer or your piano roll, you will get this magnifying tool. Now you can simply left click and draw a selection like this, which will zoom into that selection. You can even zoom in once more if you do the same thing again, like so. And now to get back, you can simply use the option key and the Z, zoom. Option Z will go back 1 step, like so, and do it again, option Z, and you're back at the first version. Now here's my bonus tip for you. Many times you can use the option key in combination with other keys. I especially love it for option shift. This combination is super powerful. For example, you remember how you could make a copy of this region here, but you can also make a follow region, which I call a mimicked version, by selecting this, hold down option and shift, then left click and drag, and now every change you make in this region will be affected in this. So this is basically mimicking what happens in here. And you can also use it to move notes as you did with the Option key and arrow up and down, but in perfect octaves. Again, hold down Option and the Shift key this time. Now if I use the arrow up, look what happens. It moves up a perfect octave. I can use this to go down as well, so you can, for example, use it up an octave and then down to seminotes, or whatever you want. Check out my complete video series on Logic Pro X tutorials and tips here on my channel. Learn and master Logic Pro X to boost your music composition and production workflow.